It was the morning of December 10th, 2021, when the fate of a small town would be shaken by a brutal and mysterious event. Locals spotted smoke in an area of woods near the Cafuz River in Areia Branca, Sergipe. What they found there was chilling, a body engulfed in flames. As they approached, horror set in. It was the body of a female victim, with parts of her body charred and wounds that appeared to have been inflicted by a sharp weapon. She was wearing only underwear. A mystery surrounded this heinous crime. What would drive someone to commit such a brutal act? Who was this woman? Why was she there? What had happened? The day that would change the life of this community forever. In this video, we will dive deep into this shocking case and attempt to unravel what occurred. We will follow the clues, listen to witnesses, and uncover the secrets hidden behind this unprecedented tragedy. Get ready for a harrowing journey, full of twists and surprises. You won't want to miss any details of this story that will captivate your attention from beginning to end. So if you're curious and passionate about mysteries, be sure to follow this video and share your theories with us in the comments. Welcome to the Criminal Chronicles channel. If you're fascinated by inexplicable mysteries and intriguing challenges, this is the right place for you. Welcome to another video filled with sinister enigmas and stories that will hold your attention from start to finish. If you love unraveling intriguing cases and diving into mysterious narratives, don't waste any time and join us right now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any details of the mysteries we'll explore together from now on. And of course, if you can give that like early in the video, know that it makes all the difference so I can continue bringing engaging content to you. Let's dive headfirst into another intriguing journey. Let's go. On the morning of a misty day in December 2021, a group of attentive residents noticed a disturbing sign of trouble in the wooded area near the winding Cafuz River, located in the peaceful municipality of Areia Branca in the stunning state of Sergipe. A thin and unsettling column of smoke rose on the horizon, arousing the curiosity of the locals. As they approached the source, a horrifying sight unfolded before their eyes. There, among the trees, lay a body amidst the relentless flames. The victim, a young woman, was unrecognizable, with part of her skin charred, bearing wounds that hinted at the use of a cutting weapon. The woman's clothing had been reduced to ashes, leaving her only in charred undergarments. As soon as the sinister discovery was made, authorities were promptly notified, and highly trained experts from the Institute of Forensic Science were mobilized to examine the grim scene. Subsequently, after gathering evidence, a team from the Forensic Medical Institute arrived at the scene to perform the somber task of identifying the victim. It was the victim's sister, named Alessandra, who recognized the distressing body as that of Veronica Elisian Barbosa Mesquita, affectionately known to all as Mel. Emotionally shaken, Alessandra granted an interview to the local press, calling for justice in her sister's name. The lead investigator on the case initially kept all investigation possibilities open. The brutal murder of Mel, with the evident torture that preceded her death and the subsequent burning of her body, had cast a shadow of mystery over the quiet town of Areia Branca. Mel, in addition to everything else, was a dedicated mother to two children, one 8 years old and the other just 1 year and 10 months old. The tragedy that befell her family was already profound, as her romantic relationship with the father of her children had ended in tragedy just 3 days earlier, when he died in a traffic accident in the state of Bahia. Although Mel was a native of Areia Branca, she had moved to the city of Itabaiana. According to the babysitter of her children, Mel had left her home at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon on November 9th, a day before her body was discovered, with the intention of addressing some personal matters in the city center. After about an hour and a half, the babysitter, whose identity remained confidential, tried to contact Mel, sending messages and making desperate calls, but received no response. Concern began to set in, leading the babysitter to immediately contact Mel's family. One of Mel's sisters reported having met with Mel that same afternoon, around 4 o'clock, but claimed not to have heard from her since. With these ominous events as a backdrop, the civil police, under the leadership of diligent Detective Jessica Garcia, launched a thorough investigation. The first step was to collect witness statements in an attempt to reconstruct Mel's last steps on the day of her disappearance. As November drew to a close, Messages exchanged between Mel and a friend revealed that the young woman was apprehensive about a meeting scheduled with her sister Elisandra, who now emerged as a central figure in the case. Elisandra, in turn, was a half-sister on Mel's father's side, and as the investigation progressed, it was discovered that the two sisters were involved in a loan sharking scheme. The civil police began to consider the possibility that Mel had indeed met with Elisandra on that fateful afternoon, and that her death was somehow related to that meeting, which, according to information, was supposed to take place in the square in front of the city's main church in Itabaiana. Security camera footage from a gas station on the day of the meeting captured Elisandra and her husband Everton buying gasoline, a fact that immediately raised suspicions among investigators. As a result, Mel was finally laid to rest on November 11th of that fateful year, and her sister and brother-in-law, shaken by the tragedy, paid emotional tributes during the funeral. However, in the days that followed, the couple was summoned to testify at the police station, but they did not appear. It was from this point that the authorities turned their attention to Andre, Elisandra's husband, and Everton, considering them the prime suspects in the terrible crime. The escape of the alleged culprits was short-lived, and just 3 days after the start of the investigations, Sandra de Jesus Oliveira and Everton Santos Goes, both 40 years old, were captured during a lunch at a restaurant near the ferry in the city of Penedo, in the state of Alagoas. When confronted by authorities, the couple revealed that they were on their way to Aracaju, intending to surrender to the authorities, as they were already aware of arrest warrants issued by the court. Following their arrest, Sandra and Everton were taken to the Flagrante Delicto Central in the São Dumont neighborhood, in the capital of Sergipe, awaiting trial before the judiciary of the state of Sergipe. The journey in search of truth had only just begun, and justice was underway. Under the watchful eyes of Detective Jessica, during the initial interrogation, Sandra and Everton surprisingly confessed to the terrible crime, claiming, however, that they had committed it in self-defense. Their narrative revolved around the idea that Mel posed an imminent threat to the couple, forcing them to take the extreme action of taking the life of the 22-year-old. According to their statements, the tragedy occurred in the back seat of a car, where Everton and Elisandra stabbed her until the victim no longer resisted. Mel's lifeless body was then abandoned near a river, amidst dense vegetation in the Pedrinhas area. To cover up their crime, the corpse was doused with gasoline and partially set on fire. The taxi used during the heinous act was seized and subjected to a thorough forensic analysis. The underlying motivation for this atrocity was rooted in debts related to loan sharking, an illegal practice that, according to the police investigation, was conducted by the victim in collusion with her own sister. Despite the claims of self-defense put forth by Sandra and Everton, authorities accuse Elisandra of planning and carrying out the crime in conjunction with her partner. Detective Jessica emphasized that the testimonies collected throughout the investigation were crucial in tracing Mel's movements on the day prior to the murder. According to the detective, on that tragic Tuesday afternoon, Mel met with her sister as they had agreed. As indicated by the messages mentioned earlier, the victim expressed fears about the meeting, but still showed up at the square in front of the Itabaiana church. Based on gas station surveillance footage, it became evident that the accused had purchased gasoline during their journey to the meeting place, further reinforcing suspicions of premeditated crime. As detailed by the police, witnesses stated that Mel did not communicate with the suspects before getting into the car at the meeting place. The interaction was brief, and she entered the car, from which they proceeded towards the Mangabeira village. However, for unknown reasons, the route was altered during the journey, ultimately leading them to the Cajueiro village. Inside the vehicle, a heated dispute erupted, resulting in a violent physical altercation. Everton and Elisandra admitted to delivering the fatal knife blows that ended Mel's life. Throughout the investigations, the police discovered that one of the financial transactions involving the victim included receiving a sum of money from one of her creditors, leaving her unable to repay part of the debt owed to Elisandra. The motivation, therefore, was rooted in financial issues, exacerbated by default and resulting tensions. Mel was not known for having a dark temperament. In an interview, her aunt, Doña Rosa, expressed bewilderment at the tragedy. According to her, The young woman had never shared concerns or anxieties with the family, and her happiness was palpable. Doña Rosa shared details of Mel's loving personality, describing her as a beloved person by all. The defense attorney for the couple chose not to make a public statement regarding the case, citing that the proceedings were under judicial secrecy. Investigations continue with the aim of determining whether other individuals were involved in the heinous crime. Meanwhile, after being subjected to a custody hearing, Elisandra and Everton remain detained in the capital of Sergipe, awaiting the outcome of the police inquiry that will likely result in their formal charges for the terrible crime. The path to the truth is underway, and justice will follow its inexorable course, and thus we conclude another fascinating dive into the shadows of the world of crimes and mysteries. If you were intrigued by the twists, puzzles, and engaging narratives we explored here on the Criminal Chronicles channel, don't miss the opportunity to join us on this ongoing journey. Subscribe to the channel right now so you don't miss any electrifying episodes that are coming up. Every case, every detail meticulously investigated, relies on your support to keep happening. Leave your like, because that's what motivates us to continue bringing you quality content and thorough investigations. Comments are also essential. Share your theories, opinions, and ideas. Your participation makes this community even richer and full of energy to uncover the greatest criminal mysteries. Remember, producing videos as engaging as this is a challenge, but with your support, we can continue to explore the stories that stir our investigative instincts. So don't waste any time. If you're not already part of this passionate community of mystery and crime enthusiasts, click the subscribe button, activate notifications, and leave your mark in the comments and likes. Together, we will unravel the most complex secrets of the criminal underworld. Until the next video, detectives,